I'm against trying to block spam calls. For those of you that are out there, spam calls and solicitors, continue to be scourge on businesses, and I will admit to doing some cold calls myself sometimes, so I'm a little bit part of the problem. And then at the same time, as a business owner, I actually do get about 10 to 15 telemarketing calls per day. So I'm kind of on both sides of it. But I am against blocking spam calls, having the software on the phone to entirely block them out. And the main reason is because the software, with how it is right now, is not perfect. And what happens sometimes, and I've seen this happen with other clients, is that the last thing you want to do is miss phone calls from customers. And I have seen that happen where sometimes, especially people that are in businesses where you can have clients out of state, especially with airport transportation companies, especially with courier companies. When you have customers that are out of state and you get a phone call from an incoming area code that is not local, I have seen a lot of software that's out there that will block those calls. And the last thing that you want to do is block phone calls from customers. So at this current moment, it's not a bad thing to have sort of a software that's out there that tries to identify caller ID and things like that. But in terms of having the software block phone calls, I think it's a bad idea. It's not, as a business owner myself, it's not something I would do, just because I don't want to, especially with me, because at Custom Wave we have clients all across the country. We have customers all across the country. So last thing that I want to do is have some software on my phone that blocks phone calls from customers, and then I don't even get them, and that's the last thing that I would want. So to all of our clients that are out there in any small business, it's not worth it. Sometimes there's such a phrase known as cost of doing business, and I think that telemarketing calls and spam calls are just a cost of doing business. I think that in the future it's going to be really hard for software to distinguish between what is a customer, what's a telemarketer. I think that's going to be almost impossible, because it's going to be different for every business. How do you take a phone number? How if you're making software, how do you tell the software, okay, this is a customer and this is not a customer? Like, you can't do it by area code, you can't do it by number. There might be software that's out there where you get a telemarketing call and then you block that going forward. Like, I don't think that's a problem. You get a bad phone call from a particular number, but then a lot of the telemarketing companies that are out there, they'll call you with different phone numbers anyway, so then it makes it kind of harder to block them. But I think it's not worth it. You're going to get your telemarketing calls anyway, and it's I get them too, and it's just a cost of doing business. But I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, because the last thing that you want to do is not get phone calls from customers. At Custom Wave, it's important that you guys make money, because if your guys aren't making money, then you're not going to have any money to spend on advertising and marketing. So it's really important that you guys make money and do well, because Custom Wave wouldn't be in business without other small businesses doing well and making money and staying afloat. So that's just my opinion and my recommendation on it.